What are doshas? Last time I talked about what is Ayurveda, so let me explain you doshas. Doshas are fundamental energies, the physical, the mental, the emotional being that collectively comes together. So these form the unique blueprints. So let me explain how each dosha or each person falls under a particular dosha. And dosha has to be not necessarily one type. For example, let's keep it easy. Three major doshas. Vata, which is, as I told you, air and space. Majority of air and space. Space means something that is open. Air means something that can be flowy, that can fill a room. You put a little air that will spread in the entire space or entire room. But you remember, air is only up till where gravity is. Above that, it's all space. So somebody with high vata can think unending. So they can think like infinity. Their thought process could never stop because they have space on their side. And whatever air they have will fill it. So that they can move in, move out very quickly. They can't stick to something. That is vata. Similarly, what I'm going to talk today about is, first I'm going to tell you each dosha, and then I'm going to go through each dosha which makes the person, and then how each person could be vata pitta. Means vata could be primary, but pitta could be secondary. Or somebody could be vata, pitta, and little bit of kapha. The more balanced somebody is, that means they are free of illness, because balance means health, imbalance means illness. So your goal is in Ayurveda to be in balance. Wherever there is high vata, you need to add more earth or more fire so that you can kind of be equal in balance. So I hope you understand the plus and minus of being. The goal at the end is to get everything in balance. So let's start with what is the physical characteristics. Vatas are normally, and this doesn't have to be exactly, Vatas are normally thin, they have dry skin, and they feel very cold. So for example, I'm Vata. If I really put up my mind on eating correctly, I'm thin framed. I wear small size. I'm thin framed. Of course, if I'm eating a lot of carbs, I'm eating junk processed foods, I can gain weight, fat. But that doesn't mean I'm not a big boned guy. That is kapha. And a moderate boned guy would be pitta. So thin boned, vata, moderate boned, pitta, and heavy boned guy would be kapha. If you look at the physical traits, let's say somebody is very dry, like I get dry skin very easily. I'm very prone to constipation because there's a lot of air imbalance in the body because vata is high. So that means you have to keep yourself oiled. That means earth has to be increased for you to remain in balance so that you can attain the perfect health, right? Let's say cold weather. Again, vata, because vata is vata in space, air is cold. So vata personalities will always feel cold. I feel cold all the time. Even with normal people feeling hot, I feel slightly cold. That is because I'm high in air. I have an air imbalance. So I need to balance it. I need to keep my shoulders, my neck, my head covered. So this is the traits. Let's come to physical traits of pitta. Pitta are medium bodied. They are normally very warm and their bodies are very warm and they don't like heat because they are already got that heat in them. They are angry people, right? A little bit focused, angry. So they have that energy in them, that fire in them. So fire doesn't need more fire. If you take them to very hot places, they'll feel very irritated. If you actually load them up with a lot of warm clothes, they won't like it. Now, this doesn't attain to everybody because they could be vata on the other end. So, kapha. Kapha is large boned people. They have very smooth skin. Kapha people are little oily in general. They have very smooth skin and they're also a little lethargic, little slow. If you call a vata, hey, come to the gym, he'll say, okay, coming. If you ask a kapha personality, hey, come to the gym, he'll say, oh, I'm fairly sleepy. Maybe tomorrow, we'll start from tomorrow. That's kapha. They tend to gain weight very quickly. You let them eat a little ghee and they'll literally very quickly gain it, versus somebody like Pitta would very quickly digest it because they have a lot of fire. So let's talk about the mental being and how to determine that. Vata personalities are very, very creative. They have a million ideas at a time, but they need to stick to be in balance, right? So if you want to hire somebody in your R&D department, hire a Vata personality. If you want somebody to create a company, be an entrepreneur, make sure they are Vata personality, right? Because they are the creative kinds. They are very quick in decision making. They make decisions like this. They don't take time. Whether it is good or bad, they make decisions. But they are also very anxious. People with Vata personality would think like 20 things at a time. You tell them, oh, I got a pain here. They'll say, oh, maybe it's appendicitis. Maybe it's hernia. Maybe it's food indigestion. Maybe it's IBS. Like they will start thinking, their brain will go 100 areas and they'll start thinking about things that don't even exist. That is Vata for you. Now comes Pitta. Pittas are very focused, very driven. Very, very driven. At times, they can get very angry. If they put their mind to it, they got to do it. End of story. That is Pitta for you. The fire in them cannot be stopped. It's like a wild forest fire. Kapha. Kapha people are very calm. They are the family people. If you really want to have a family person, like if you have watched the movie Godfather, that's the Kapha personality. Calm, nurturing, a little lazy, a little lethargic, but yet takes the entire clan with him. They won't run alone. They stay like a tree. But that's their personality. Now let's talk about digestive patterns. Vata personality are normally, as I told you, constipated. Their irregular habits of eating, their hunger spangs are irregular. They'll feel very hungry early morning, or they'll feel very hungry in the evening and not that hungry in the afternoon. They're not set in their patterns. They just move very quickly. Similarly, Pitta, they get very hungry because they have fire in them. Anything you put in them, boom, they are hungry after 2 hours, right away. That's the Pitta personality. But they also, if you feed them spicy foods like curries and stuff, they feel very acidic very quickly. Kapha. These are the people who are calm, who are a little slow. So their digestion is also a little slow. Their digestion is slow. You give them food, they'll take you their time to eat. They love carbs. Breads to them is heaven. Sweets, oh my God. Kapha personalities, you give them sweets, they'll just think they are in heaven. So that is the Kapha personality. Let's talk about sleep. Vata personality is very light sleeper. For somebody like me, if I'm traveling 16 hours in a plane, I hardly sleep 4 hours. That's Vata for you. Light sleepers, they have difficulty staying asleep. They don't even need an alarm. They think in their mind, I'll wake up at 6 o'clock, boom. 5:30, they are awake. That is Vata personality. Pitta, they are moderate sleepers. Once Pitta wake up, they wake up very refreshed. You want to be a Pitta when it comes to sleep. Kapha, they are deep sleepers. If they sleep, they sleep. And they don't want to wake up. For them, you need that mega alarm. Boom, and they'll still turn it off. Then you put a second alarm and then they're like, oh my God. Now let's talk about energy. Energy level, Vata, burst of energy. They go like a rocket engine. Like let's say if you give them for a 100-meter sprint, Vata is going to win. If you give them a 400-meter sprint, they'll go very fast for 100 meters and exhaustion the rest 300 meters. They're like, and then Pitta personality. They have steady energy. They basically remain very steady. They don't have very high bursts or very low, but they burn under stress. So if you give them a lot of stress, they'll burn out, their energy is gone, and they are going home. Kapha is very consistent. Their energy level is not super high, but they'll keep going forever and ever and ever, and they won't stop. Like when Vata are gone home, Pitta have just started. Skin-wise, I'll tell you, Vata are very dry, so they are prone to cracks. They are prone to rough skin. They need oil on them because they get dryness of mouth, dryness everywhere. Pitta are warm. Their skin is very sensitive and prone to getting red. So Pitta, the moment they do a little bit of rubbing on their skin, they'll feel that redness come in. That is Pitta personality for you. Kapha Kapha people are oily genetically. They are oily, they are smooth, they are prone to clogged pores. So these are the differences. Now, you could be one type, majority, and the second type in minority. That is what most people are. Like, for example, me, I'm Vata Pitta. Vata is the majority and Pitta is the secondary. Versus, I've decoded several personalities around the globe. For example, Trump. Trump is heavy Kapha. Heavy Kapha means primary is Kapha, means he's very steady, and then he is secondary Pitta. He's angry. He's focused, driven, angry. So that is how you decipher a person. You can use this analogy not only to determine health of a person, but also if, let's say, you're hiring an employee and you want somebody in your creative department, your R&D department, you want to have some Vata in them. But let's say if you're hiring somebody in operations, you want to have somebody with Kapha in them, somebody who's rock solid, who's not going away. Similarly, if you want to get AR collected, accounts receivable, you want to have somebody with a little bit of Pitta in them. So I'm just trying to explain you how you can utilize these different variations, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, in different ways, not just for determining their health and their work or their lifestyle, everything. Literally, you can use these analogies for everything. That is how simple Ayurveda made it. So the goal is balance. So if you're high in something, balance it with the other one. I'm actually going to be putting a dosha quiz on gurunanda.com. You can take it free of charge and you can determine who you are so that you can balance yourself away from illness into being healthy and being the guru of your own wellness. In the meanwhile, do not forget to subscribe and like my channel. Even if you find a little value in what I do, please share it so that I am more motivated to bring you more and more knowledge as I go. Thank you.